Hi guys, welcome to today's video. So today I'm going to be talking about everything that I prepared for the fitness test. So as you guys may have seen, I did have my assessment day and thankfully everything went well. So I thought I'd make another whole video for you guys about how I actually prepared for the fitness test. So the first thing that I did was make sure that I bought a good pair of trainers. There is nothing more important than making sure that you have good support, you have good soles, because you're going to do a hell of a lot of running. Also, it helps to prevent injury, and that's literally the last thing that you want to be getting before your assessment date or before training or anything like that. So for my running, I literally did no running at the start whatsoever. I was not a cardio person, so I just never did any kind of endurance training, cardio, just anything like that. It was just weight based. So when I did, I started off very slowly. I did short runs once or twice a week just so my body could get used to running and the impact on the floor. It does take time for your body to get used to that, so slowly work your way up. What I actually did was eventually incorporate one short run a week, long run a week, and a hill sprint. Now I wasn't too good on the hill sprints. I probably did that 3 times overall. So for my short run, I started off with the 2 kilometers. That is exactly the distance that we need for the assessment day for the fitness test. So that's what I got my body getting used to better prepare myself for that run. For my long runs, I started off with a 3-mile run, and at the start it felt like quite a lot because my body just was not used to running, the movements, and so that's why I started off very slow. For the hill sprints, I just went to a local park. There's quite a steep hill there, so I started off doing 10 sprints. So I would sprint as fast as I could up the hill and then either walk or slowly jog back down. So over time, I tried to increase either the distance I was doing or the speed I was doing at. So one of the apps that I've been using is the app called Strava. It's been really good. The only thing that I would say, I quite like knowing how many calories I have burnt in a run because it just gives me that little bit more of a motivation. And I don't think the app does that unless you go pro. But the app is completely free. So at the start, I was using Map My Ride, where you can also map your runs, but I just found that Strava was a bit more accurate, so I stuck to Strava instead. And so each time I went on the run, I looked at the time that I got previously, and I tried to get faster and faster each time. Also, with my long runs, or even with my short runs, I sometimes incorporated a bit like interval training, just so I can increase the pace to get my body used to running at a faster pace. The other thing I did with cardio is incorporate backpack runs. So I'm not talking about crazy weights here at all. I literally got a normal backpack, made sure the straps were really tight, put all of my gym gear, like my water bottles, my chalk, my weightlifting shoes, anything that I needed for my gym session into my bag, and I'd run with that. So I'm not talking crazy 20 kg kind of weights here. All I wanted was a slight increase of weight to make the run slightly harder, so when I do take the backpack off, the run feels easier. So my run to the gym was about 1.7 miles. So I used to run there and I used to run back with my backpack. Now I didn't do that straight away either. I used to run to the gym and then do a brisk walk back, and then another day I would do the run there and back. I didn't run every single day. The maximum amount of times I did run within the week was 3 times. I was also doing my weightlifting sessions, so I was doing that 6 times a week and then doing my 3 runs within those sessions too. So that is how I did it. If you try to run every single day, then you just do put yourself at that unnecessary risk of completely burning yourself out or causing yourself injury. So you need to make sure that you also have the rest days. Don't just go sprinting every single day to get better as quickly as possible. It's just really not worth it. Just take it really nice and slow, but start as soon as you can, because of course the sooner that you start, the more progression that you can make within the time, and so the more chance you are of actually passing the test. In my previous videos, I have also said that I did about a month and a half of training. I did 0 cardio before, so I was starting from a place with 0 endurance, and it wasn't the best. Thinking back now, I wish I did start as early as possible. Like as soon as I started my application, I wish I had started it, but then my application has been pretty much been a year, so just start as soon as you can. The next thing that I did is to make sure I was eating really healthy foods. It helps nourish your body, gives you the fuel that you need for your workouts and your running. And so just making sure that you are fueling your body with nutritional food instead of just filling it with rubbish. For me personally, when I have a day where I just do eat rubbish, or if I do have a really bad meal or something, I just feel so bad afterwards. And it actually really affects my running because I don't feel as fit and healthy in myself. So my runs just become really sluggish. And so I just tend to avoid really unhealthy foods altogether. For me, that's one of the most important things, is just to make sure you're fueling your body with the best possible foods possible to get you as fit as possible for your assessment date. And so the last thing I'm going to recommend to you guys is make sure you do lots of stretching and mobility work to make sure your body is feeling good. Definitely make sure you're getting those lower body muscles, get them feeling really nice and loose. I wasn't stretching as much as I could have been, and I wasn't doing as much mobility work. I actually caused myself a knee injury because my muscles were so tight. I know that it may not seem high priority, but if you do get an injury, you're really gonna regret not doing all of that work. So one thing that I also did buy, I actually had bought previously but it broke and I just haven't bought one since, is a muscle gun. I found that really helpful because I was also incorporating my weight training and my cardio, and it was just a lot more working out for me, so my body was really taking a toll and really feeling it. So I really needed something to help release those tight muscles and just get everything feeling good. And so for the beep test, I did take my test during COVID, so we still had all of the COVID restrictions in place. By the time you guys do it, it may not be the same anymore. It may be the 2 kilometer run, but because it was the beep test, I made sure that I practiced the beep test as much as possible to get a feel of what it was going to be like for test day and also to see what score I was getting. So I'm going to put a little clip for you guys here of me doing the beep test. I actually went to my family member's house to do this because I live in London and I just couldn't get a nice quiet place because it was during lockdown and everyone was at the parks, as you can imagine, just to get out. And so I decided to go to my family's house to get the space that I needed, the 20 meters, but unfortunately the ground was slightly uneven, so I wasn't getting the best runs in possible. And I was also always thinking, gosh, if I fall down like one of these holes or anything like that, because it was such an uneven ground, I'm going to cause myself a pretty bad injury, and then I'm going to be super upset when everything gets postponed because I'm injured. But yeah, this is what I did, and I think whatever resources you do have, you just make the most out of your situation. So if you are in quite a similar position to me where you don't have a lot of space, I was actually speaking to one of the interview guys and he said he just basically said, you make the space. You literally make the space, no excuses. He just said, you can just wait till night time to do it in the streets. For me, I just thought, well, if you live in the middle of London, then it doesn't get quiet, which is what happened to me. But of course, I didn't say anything. Yeah, so those are my few tips for you guys. All of these things are what really helped me just get in the best position possible for the test. And yeah, I hope the tips help you too. Good luck with your assessment date, and I will see you soon.